I almost died. So as I mentioned, these valves need a little bit of adjustment, and while it's warm, this is a good opportunity to measure the valve clearance between the shim and the cam lobes. The top end makes a little noise because there's a little bit of more clearance than is allowable between the lobe and the shim. What I need to do is go through and measure with a feeler gauge the clearance between those two and see which shim I need in order to get the correct distance between the lobe and the shim itself. So we'll go ahead and pull the valve cover off, measure those, and see what we got. Finally get an opportunity to take advantage of the tool cart. Very handy. Alexa, next. Okay, so I've measured the clearance between all these lobes and the shims, as they're called, on the buckets below them. You can pop those shims off and replace them with thicker or thinner ones. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. Unfortunately, you have to remove the cams to get to the shims. Unlike, I think like small block V8 Chevys, you can just adjust the rocker nut and it'll just go up and down. That's a push rod engine, obviously. This is a overhead cam engine. All we have to do, make sure our timing marks are lined up, make sure we got that all squared away. Pop off all the cam caps, pull the cams, swap out the shims with the correct size ones. But before that, we have to determine which ones are out of whack and what size we need or within what range. Okay guys, so one of my buddies actually had an extra motor and he just kind of gave me a bunch of shims. So this is what they look like. They're just little pucks. And I previously marked these with a digital caliper. I measured them, but I'm afraid it was a little inconsistent because I did my valve job about 4 or 5 times and I still have the sound in the head. I have a huge selection of ones to choose from, ranging from like 20 to 44 and every size in between. Here's the digital caliper I used initially. This is a Cobalt. I think you can get these from Lowe's. Slide this along the rail. You zero it out and then you take one of these. This was a 26 when I measured it last. Open it up. This is a 22.25. So what I want to do is break this guy out. Now this is called a digital micrometer. I forgot I had these, but basically this is going to give us a physical measurement rather than a digital.
The next day.
What up? We're back. Small update on the 510. Basically I haven't put it back together because the valve lash on one of these lifters between the cam and the shim is so big that I don't even have a shim big enough to fill the space, I don't think. I measured the shim, but I think I'm gonna measure it again just to be sure and triple check. I'm sure it is what it is, but it just sucks that this one shim is keeping me from putting the motor back together and enjoying the car. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. I'll show you guys kind of my little chart and how I determine what size shims I need. I don't know if you guys can see this on the GoPro, and I'll flash it up on screen if not, but this number 12 has a clearance too high where it is 0.017 inches away from the lobe of the cam, and it just so happens that it's on the exhaust side, and what I need to remedy that is at 2.50 shim. The biggest one I have is a 2.44, which is basically what's already in the lifter itself. I'm gonna re-measure that shim size just to make sure I got it right, and even if we can bring that up even like whatever, even a 1/10 of a millimeter, I think that would be helpful. I can punch that in here if whatever the difference is. That's kind of what I'm gonna do right now. The problem child is number 12, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 up from the right side, so this guy right here. So let's go ahead and pop that guy off right here. Got my little pick, just pop it off like that. This is the 44 that I have laying around. That is thickest shim I have. Man, it's even like showing a 46, 47 there. Let's see what this guy shows. 44. All right, now I'm gonna use the micrometer. So 0.096. And on this one, thickest one I have in my inventory, about the same, a little smaller, I think. That ain't gonna do it. So we will put this guy back knowing that we need to get a thicker shim, unfortunately. And that's kind of the way it is what it is. I'll have to find a 50 shim and get this thing back together using that. I don't want that valve noise. You don't want to just kind of say, shrug your shoulders and say, eh. The whole purpose of doing this is to get rid of the valve noise. So throw the cover back on for now, and I'll get one of those 50s on the way.
The next day.
We're back and have some really good news. We've been doing this valve job, right, as you've seen. And I was gonna throw in the towel and just do a partial episode and say, hey, we'll do another one the next time. But it turns out I fixed my little issue with the valve clearance and not having the right size shim. The fourth one up on the exhaust side, I call it number 12. I go 1 and this is 9. There's too much clearance. It was 0.017 inches, I believe. And based on the current size of the shim and the clearance combined, I just didn't have a big enough shim to fix the issue. Basically, I needed a 2.50 millimeter shim. However, I will say I still don't have a 2.50 millimeter shim, but I do have a shit ton of these buckets, right? So I got to thinking, I didn't film any of this, I was just way too tired, it was super late. This thing sits on top of the valve stem, right? And then this thing is where the shim sits, right? So that thickness is what's important to us, and that's why the whole valve lash thing is happening. I got to thinking, I'm like, I have this micrometer. What if I had a bucket where the thickness of this is thicker than the bucket that's causing the issue, if that makes sense? If you have a taller height here, effectively, you could find one that would have enough more height to offset your deficiency in the shim height. Hopefully that makes sense. So sure enough, this is the old one. This one was like 0.11, it was like 0.0118 or something like that. And I found one that's 0.02 millimeters taller, which puts me within the range that's acceptable. It's on the higher end, you know, it's not like middle or even on the small end, which is whatever, but it's within spec. So what I did was swap it out, and we are ready to put this thing back together. That's pretty much the plan right now, is just to put it all back together. Let's do it and see if it'll run. Okay, sprockets are on. I'm gonna measure the lash there just to see what it is. I know it's cold. That reading might be irrelevant. Ooh, nice and tight. It's not even a 15, so I'm happy with that. Wipe down this gasket surface with a little brake cleaner and fire it up. Okay, it is back together. And I think we're ready to fire it. We'll go grab the laptop and see if we can tune on the cold start a little bit too. We'll go from there. I just like doing a once over look at everything because it's so easy to miss any you know, there's so many little details that just want to make sure you don't miss anything. Everything looks good though. Valve cover, everything on the valve cover. You know, we got all those bolts, got the spark plugs in, spark plug wires, injector clips are on. Let's go and fire this thing. Okay. So much fuel, it's at 11.7, 11.6. I guess the main thing is that it sounds good. I don't hear any valves really, but I'm gonna let it warm up before I really get excited. It sounds good though. The only ticking I hear is the injectors. So far, so good. Wish I didn't have that nasty freaking exhaust leak right now. And I'll talk about this in some later videos, but I've actually designed some LED taillights that we'll be coming out with soon for the 510 and hopefully more vehicles in the future. That's kind of what I went to school for, so I'm putting these back in because we were changing some stuff on the design. Wow, it's the first time that's happened. Throttle stick right here. Wow. Well, it's not stuck anymore, but man, that was scary. Good thing I was able to shut it off. Let's make sure everything's okay. Just get started up quick. I wonder what RPM that thing hit. I almost died. I never wash my cars, which is really bad because I just get caught up in fixing them and working on them. So this is a good opportunity to do that, and it'll also allow me to hose down the floor. What the fuck is that? Fucking mess. Look at the back of the Subaru. Garbage everywhere. I like wiping down with the chamois afterwards so I can wipe off any dirt I missed, especially on this thing since it hasn't been washed in months. Alright guys, that's all I got for this episode. Got those valves done. We got the car wash. We got a test drive in. We got a throttle stuck. That was pretty scary. I really need to fix that. That can't happen. And it was only when I stabbed the gas, so everything seems fine. We should be good. I'd like to get this thing to the dyno day. I'd like to get this thing on the dyno at the dyno day on the 23rd. I think it's the 23rd, up in Lincoln at the shop. Just have some fun with it. I just want 300 horsepower and that's it, and just kind of, you know, get everything else finished. You know, get the new hood, get the windshield wipers on, and just drive the thing. Anyway, if you like this video, hit the subscribe button, like the video if you enjoyed this particular video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.